15 years, inbound marketing has helped millions of businesses grow with one simple formula: attract, engage, delight. But the game has changed. A lot. Funnels aren't flowing like they used to, and you may be noticing that your tried and true tactics aren't working well anymore. In just the last 2 years, the way buyers discover, trust, and decide has shifted more than it did in the previous 15. Good news, you don't need to throw out your whole strategy. You just need some smart upgrades so you're still attracting and connecting with the right customers. That is where HubSpot's new Loop Marketing Playbook comes in. It is designed for this exact moment, combining AI efficiency with your human touch so you can grow faster without losing the authenticity that your brand is known for. Inbound marketing taught us to connect, right? Well, loop marketing teaches us to connect at the speed of today's buyer. And the more you use it, the sharper it gets, so that your strategy improves with every cycle. By the end of this video, you will understand the shift in the market and how to think about future-proofing your marketing strategy. Now, before we get into it, if you take a look in the description of this video, you're gonna see a free AI prompt library that you can download. It has over 100 expert prompts that you can plug into each stage of the loop. We're gonna walk through how to use them later, so grab it now to follow along. All right, let's dive in. Let's start by taking a look at the old playbook. HubSpot's inbound formula was the standard: attract strangers with great content, engage with offers, delight into loyalty. And it worked because Google practically owned the path to purchase. Search, click, learn, decide. But now, buyer journeys look nothing like that. According to SparkToro's zero-click search study that was done in partnership with Datos, 58% of Google searches end without a single click, meaning that people are discovering brands in totally different ways. Let's look at a few. Okay, so YouTube is the world's second largest search engine and a top podcast platform. Substack, which is basically a subscription-based media platform built for creators, has seen over 49 million unique visitors and over 500,000 paid subscribers. Social platforms like LinkedIn and Instagram are still growing, with creator influence exploding. A recommendation from a creator's TikTok or Reel can outweigh your homepage. Here's why this matters. Your buyers might check Gmail, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, LinkedIn, and ChatGPT before lunch. And they could encounter your brand or your competitors in any of those places. For example, your old flow may look something like this: publish a blog, optimize for search, wait for traffic. The new flow goes something like this: someone asks for a recommendation in a Reddit thread. Multiple people tag your brand because they've seen you on LinkedIn, YouTube, and in a creator's post. Or someone asks an LLM like ChatGPT to sort through different or similar options, and your company's name comes out on top. Then your customer actively seeks you out. So, the fundamentals of attract, engage, delight still matter, but how you do them has to evolve. Enter HubSpot's Loop Marketing Framework. Let's break it down so you understand how it works, and then I'll show you how to implement it in your business. Loop marketing works with your current strategy, but in 4 repeating stages that match how people actually buy today: fast, distracted, and across multiple touch points. So, this is the loop. You can start at any stage in the loop, wherever will make the biggest impact for where your business is currently at. In the next section of this video, we will talk about when to start at each stage, and I'll give you a walkthrough on how to get started. But first, here is your quick overview. Let's start at stage 1. Express. This stage is all about locking in who you are, what you stand for, how you express that, and who you're expressing it to, so that your brand shows up consistently everywhere. For example, you can fire up AI to scan reviews or call notes and help you identify your ideal customer profile. Then, with help from AI, create a professional style guide with your tone, mission, and brand personality so that you can either insert it back into AI or hand it to your team. Then, with all of that new info, you can map out what you stand for and how you want to be perceived so that every touch point feels cohesive. Then, we follow the loop down to stage 2, Tailor. This stage is all about making your marketing personal. Not just, hi, insert first name, personal. We're talking actually relevant to what someone cares about right now. For example, You can have AI analyze customer behavior to spot patterns, maybe segmenting your audience by industry, buying triggers, or even the time of day that they engage the most. From there, you create landing pages, ads, or calls to action that adapt to whoever's seeing them, all while sticking to the core values that you want to express. To do this, you can use dynamic assets so that one page or campaign can serve totally different content to different personas without adding extra manual work. Next, we will follow the loop up to stage 3, Amplify. This is where you take your clear message and you put it in front of as many right fit people as possible. For example, you'll branch into channels where your ideal customer persona hangs out. Channels that you may not have thought of, like YouTube, Reddit, podcasts, or LinkedIn. Then use AI tools to remix that content so that it works for each feed. A TikTok video concept can turn into a LinkedIn post, an Instagram story, LLM-friendly articles, ad copy. You get the gist. This stage is also where you collaborate with trusted creators that your audience already follows. This way, your message comes from voices they already trust. Then we follow the loop back down to stage 4, Evolve. This stage is about learning fast, adjusting in real time, and making every campaign better than the last. For example, you can use AI to predict which ideas are most likely to resonate the most before you even launch. Then after the launch, you monitor your campaigns in real time and quickly A/B test your creative or landing pages and make changes accordingly. Then you feed every learning back into your playbook so that your marketing gets sharper with every round. Now we move back up to stage 1 and implement your learnings in your next loop cycle so that you continue to evolve. Then you move on to stage 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. Get it? So that is the big picture. Now let's walk through exactly how to put it into play in your own marketing. Come with me. All right, we have talked about what loop marketing is and why it works. Now, let's actually see it in action. I'm taking you behind the scenes of Threaded North. This is my cozy campwear brand for cold nights around the fire. We'll move stage by stage through the loop, and I'll share my screen so you can see the exact AI prompts, tools, and outputs that I use. Okay, so what's really cool about this playbook is that you don't have to start at stage 1 and work your way around in order. Like I mentioned earlier, you can jump in anywhere your biggest opportunity is right now, and then naturally feed into the next stage of the loop. I'll point out how to find that starting stage as we go. So this is the section where we're going to be looking at the free prompt library, so make sure to grab it now in the description. It is free to download. Let's look at stage 1. Express. You're going to want to start here if you can't clearly explain what makes you different, or if your customers describe you better than you describe yourself. Threaded North's website tagline is cozy campwear for everyone. It's fine, but it's not super unique, and I kind of want something that customers will instantly remember. So I just grabbed a bunch of my favorite reviews and pieces of feedback. I just copied these from social media comments, DMs, Google reviews, emails, and anywhere else that customers leave feedback. Now I'm going to head over to ChatGPT and insert this prompt from the library. Analyze our top 10 customer reviews and identify the unique value we deliver that competitors can't replicate. Then create 5 brand positioning statements that highlight this difference. Pretty cool. Now I have clear positioning statements that can be used everywhere, the exact language that customers use to describe us, and differentiators that we can confidently own. I really like this one, where luxury comfort meets rugged durability, built for Canadian life, built to last. So now I can go update my Instagram bio, website headline and messaging, ad copy, all of the touch points. And I can use this to give all my AI tools more context as I ask them to create more content. Next up, stage 2, Tailor. You're gonna wanna start here if your marketing feels really one size fits all and if your engagement is dropping. With Threaded North, I'm kind of sending out generic emails. I do personalize the first name, but that's not really enough anymore. So I want to tailor my messaging to them. So I could either download a CSV of my customer purchase history for the last 12 months and then upload it to ChatGPT, or because I use HubSpot as my CRM, I'm just gonna use Breeze Assistant. So you'll see right here in my HubSpot dashboard, I'll just select Breeze. Now this kind of looks like ChatGPT, but because it's in my CRM, it is directly connected to my CRM data. So I can prompt it like this. Segment our customer database and identify the 3 highest value persona types. For each persona, create messaging that speaks directly to their specific challenges and goals. So now I've got clear customer segments based on behavior, tailored messaging for each group, and timing recommendations for offers and follow-ups. So now I can segment these personas within my CRM and use AI to help generate personalized emails or ad copy for the various groups. Let's move on to stage 3, Amplify. You're gonna wanna start here if you've got content that converts, but no one's actually seeing it. Or worse, it's invisible in AI search results and tools like ChatGPT, Claude, or Perplexity. With Threaded North, I have got a blog post ranking on Google for best camping hoodie. That is great. But when I ask ChatGPT the same question, my brand doesn't show up at all. That's a problem because more people are using AI tools as their first stop for answers. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'll grab my top 3 to 5 best performing blog posts and drop them into ChatGPT with this prompt. Reformat these posts for AI engine optimization. Create Q&A sections, clear headings, and short, direct answers so they're ready to surface in AI search results. Now I've got content that's optimized for AEO, not just SEO. The AI gave me refreshed articles, FAQ-style snippets, and even suggestions for gap topics that my brand should cover. So now I can publish those AI-ready assets on my site so that LLMs pick them up, repurpose the same answers into social posts, YouTube videos, or TikToks, and partner with a couple outdoor creators who are already showing up in those AI citations so that Threaded North gets mentioned more often. So instead of just hoping that Google sends traffic my way, my goal is that my brand starts showing up everywhere, including inside the AI tools that people are already using to shop and research. Finally, we will move on to stage 4, Evolve. You're gonna wanna start here if you already have active campaigns running and you wanna start optimizing them. At Threaded North, I'm noticing that even though our campaigns are live and getting clicks, we don't usually think about the campaign results until a few weeks after they're live, which means that we're missing chances to improve our results. So I have my campaign data from the last 6 months here as a CSV. I just downloaded this from my Meta Ads Manager and Google Ads Manager. I'm gonna upload it to Claude here. And from the prompt library, I will say, analyze our campaign data from the last 6 months and identify patterns that predict success. Create optimization rules we can apply to future campaigns. Now I have a list of winning traits in my top campaigns, red flags in the low performing ones, and clear recommendations that I can start testing today. So I'm not just gonna note these, I'm gonna bake them into my current and future campaigns right away. And with the right workflow, I can make sure that these tactics are always applied going forward. This stage is about building a habit. Test, learn, tweak, repeat. AI keeps you from drowning in spreadsheets by highlighting what matters and what to do about it. So, now you've seen it, loop marketing in action. Express, tailor, amplify, evolve, with AI acting as the engine at every stage. If you run through this loop even once a quarter, you'll get sharper messaging, better targeting, and smarter campaigns without having to start from scratch every time. So the next question is, how do you keep the momentum going? Let's get comfy and talk about how to turn this into a repeatable, scalable system that compounds over time. Most marketing plans collect data, right? But they don't actually do anything with it. It just sits there. Loop marketing only works if you close that gap between gathering those numbers and making smart moves. This is where the magic happens, okay? You measure, you learn, you tweak, and you get better every single time. Here are 3 simple steps to do that. Step 1, measure. Don't track everything, track the right things. If you're in Express, maybe it's brand mentions and the kind of comments that you're getting. If you're in Tailor, it's how many people are opening your messages and actually clicking through. If you're in Amplify, it's which platforms are bringing you new people. If you're in Evolve, it's whether your changes are cutting your cost per acquisition and boosting conversions. Here's a little tip from my workflow. If you want to make this super simple, make one dashboard in HubSpot for each stage so you can see the right numbers at a glance instead of drowning in spreadsheets. Step 2 is learn. This is where most people stop. But we're not most people. Once a week, do a quick 15-minute review. What stage are you focused on? What worked best this week? And what is the common thread between those wins? Then, feed that data into ChatGPT, or even use the HubSpot and ChatGPT integration, and say, analyze this week's marketing performance and give me the top 3 factors driving results. You'll get patterns that you probably wouldn't have spotted on your own. Use that insight to plan the next week. Step 3 is adapt. This is when you make small changes that compound into creating the biggest impact. If a certain platform is crushing it, post there more often. If a message isn't landing, rework it with a new angle or pain point. If a campaign element is clearly winning, make it the default in your process so it happens automatically. You want to think of it like a loop that goes something like this. Metric, insight, action, result, repeat. And trust me, the loop will spin faster and faster every time you run it. This is the compounding effect that nobody talks about. You don't need to make huge changes, just tiny, smart tweaks every week. The more you run the loop, the more your wins stack, and suddenly you are miles ahead without burning out. And we love that. So, you may notice that your marketing is failing right now. Not because the idea was bad, but because the process wasn't built to adapt. The loop fixes that. It's about taking what you're already doing and making it faster, smarter, and more connected. You're not guessing anymore. You are running experiments, getting real feedback, and improving in near real time. Once you start looping, your marketing builds momentum. Every insight sharpens the next campaign, every campaign feeds the next idea, and so on and so forth. So instead of overhauling your whole strategy, just pick one stage of the loop and run the prompt for it today. The free loop marketing prompt library is linked in the description. It's free, download it. Pick your starting point and see what happens when your marketing starts to work with you instead of against you. If you want to know more about marketing trends that are shifting and how to keep up, check out the video linked at the end of this video to make sure that your brand is up to date and stays ahead of the competition. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Let me know what stage you're starting at in the comments, or if you have any questions that I can help clarify for you. My name is Bridget O'Rourke. Feel free to connect with me online, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.